Hello everyone, I'm Aaron Leonard here. I want to try out this beer today. Not my first time with this beer or any beer for that matter, but I did want to take a moment today to see if this beer might change your life, because it has changed mine. And that may sound like I'm embellishing it a bit, but anybody who knows me knows that I can't stop talking about this beer. And I'm keeping the label hidden for a reason, which we'll talk about in a bit. But first, let's try out the product. Pop the cap off here. You'll notice I do have my Ford shirt on. I'm not working now. My employer does know that I drink, and I'm off, so I can enjoy a nice cold one. So we'll taste it here. I love it. I love it. What we're talking about today, this is Short's Brewery's Melt My Brain. I tried this beer for the first time probably 3 months ago or so, and I'm an avid beer drinker. I tend to like ales, mostly blonde ales. I like Hefeweizens. Sorry for my pronunciation. I'm not a beer aficionado by any means, but this beer has really grown on me. Take a look at the front label. Shorts is always known for having some spectacular artwork, so you can see a little bit closer there. This particular beer, the vision of one Joe Short, as I'm sure many of the brews that Shorts produces are. Had the pleasure of meeting Joe a couple times now, and just a great guy. But I want to tell you about this beer anyway. So I typically like the lighter beers, and the reason that I want to talk about this beer today is because I kind of fell into the hype in some situations with beers such as Hop Slam, just to name drop. One of these beers that everybody's talking about it, get you all pumped up. And there's the folks out there that really like the IPAs, and there's the folks out there that just love their basic domestic beer. That's fine. It's all fine. It's all just preference. But if you got somebody that really likes those IPAs and they're just gung-ho about talking about beer, and they say, hey, give this a try, you drink it and just get slapped in the mouth with some hops, it'll kind of catch you off guard, and I would say leave a salty taste in your mouth, more a bitter taste in your mouth, but nonetheless, not an enjoyable experience. And with this particular beer, the reason I like it is it's different. I do know from speaking with Joe a couple of times that he wants to change the world with beer, and I think that that's a possibility when you have the right mindset. And with the beers that Shorts tends to produce, they're really they try to be on the cutting edge. You're just always doing something a little bit different. And what they did with this one, this is supposed to be kind of a beer version of a gin and tonic. And the story goes that Joe was one day, I'm going to take another sip here. Joe was one day mowing the lawn, and for whatever reason, he's mowing along. Man, I'd really like a gin and tonic. Keeps mowing, trying to finish up the lawn, and I kind of like a beer too. And it dawned on him, why not do a gin and tonic inspired beer? And myself, I've tried a couple gin and tonics. Not even my favorite drink by any means. Vodka and cranberry kind of guy, really. But once I had this beer, I was then intrigued to kind of do more gin and tonics and kind of see, the relationship. The main relationship, of course, is that this is brewed with coriander, juniper berries, and lime, and tonic water. So, of course, ingredients in a gin and tonic, that's where it comes from. You'll notice with this beer, there's it does have that lime taste. You get a little bit of bitterness of that tonic water, But for me, the biggest thing, I'm a fan of. I do like some sours also, but I like easy drinking beers. And a lot of people will say, domestics are easy drinking beers. They're half water or whatever, you know. But for me, as a beer drinker, from when I started drinking, God knows what age till now, um, whenever I drank a beer, I would take a drink, and there was always just something missing. I would enjoy part of it, but there was part of it that, maybe it's the aftertaste. Maybe it's not quite as refreshing when it initially hits my lips. Maybe just the overall taste of it or the feel of it just doesn't do it for me. And I've never really had that beer that was just my go-to. And don't get me wrong, I found beers that I really liked, that I enjoyed, that I may have drank for months and said that was my beer. But I will have you know that Short's Melt My Brain is my beer. And there's not a doubt in my mind about that, because it's just so easy drinking. It really does have has a very good taste to it, and it's just smooth. Almost has the texture of like a shandy. Lower alcohol too. So I believe it's 3.8. So not gonna knock you on your butt, which good or bad depends on what you're going for. Personally, I like the fact that I can have a couple of these and still be good to go, or at least not laying on the floor. So that's why I enjoy it. And it's a little bit different too. It's a little bit tart. But what I've found is that for those folks that maybe don't like beer, or they only like a certain type of beer, a little bit pickier, such as myself, that's why I can make this connection, really tend to enjoy this beer. It's I can't say enough about it, and this video really doesn't do it justice. I really think you should probably email Shorts and try to get one of these in your area. Just a little bit about Shorts, just so you're aware, because you may be viewing this across the country, across the world, I guess. Shorts Brewery started in Bel Air, Michigan, by a man named Joe Short. Again, a visionary, great man from what I see, and doing great things in the community. And started in Bel Air, now has a production facility in Elk Rapids, which, if you're not familiar with Michigan, a good old Michigander here, is going to be right up in this area here. So up towards Traverse City. But I would like to point out, if you are in the area and could potentially take a trip there, I would strongly suggest taking a trip out to Elk Rapids or Bel Air. Both beautiful areas. One thing you'll find in that area of Michigan, especially during this time of year, towards the end of summer, there's a lot of tourists up there. But you'll find in Elk Rapids and Bel Air, the reason I really like being there is because you won't find so many tourists. In fact, Elk Rapids, if I'm not mistaken, maybe has one traffic light. I think it's a blinker. So there's not a whole lot of hustle and bustle up there, and for me, that's what Northern Michigan's all about. Enjoying the nature, a nice beer, and also kind of, I feel like, contributing to a cause that is making a difference in this in my state. Joe has done a lot of things to build the economy in both of those respective towns, and from what I can see, doesn't plan on stopping anytime soon. So, with that being said, try one of these Melt My Brains. I think you might enjoy yourself. And let me know what you think. Have a great evening.